That was that was
Peon's show.
Peon is an enigma. I love him so much.
You know, from the little bit that we saw, I think I would actually watch that show too. I get why he's so popular.
I want one of the masks so bad.
They should start selling them.
Is he real?
Like, under the mask, is there an actual face? Or is it just
another mask?
Or is it another mask?
Yeah. Do you think that he's a real YouTuber?
Inspired this character?
I love him so much. That entire, minute that they let us watch the dance workout on the green screen, I will cherish for the rest of my life. I've never seen anything like it before.
Neither have I.
I'm stunned. I'm in awe. I'm speechless.
I do feel
bad.
Thank
you, Shinoko.
Thank you. I feel bad for Ruby and Kana, because some of those things I don't think I would be able to handle doing the strength training.
Yeah, I mean, it's an hour long of just, pure muscular cardio.
Yeah, he did say he would edit it so it actually was an hour. Because obviously they probably didn't make it the hour, or couldn't make it the hour. I think they showed us a clock of how long it had been, but it happened really fast.
It looked
so
like it was an hour.
Register how long it had been, but I mean, lifting their legs like that, oh my gosh, some of that stuff, I would be dead, collapsed I don't even think I could get as far as they did.
I'm just a really happy person at the moment. I loved that within Peon's video and agreement, he acknowledged the fact that he's not some he struggles with the idea of being some corporate shill, and he doesn't want to go against that credibility, but it was the president of the company, and he's probably just doing this as a nice thing,
Yeah, but at the end he said he liked them, so I'm sure he feels like it was worth it to just be a cog in the corporation.
Yeah, I loved that both Ruby and Kana were wearing strawberry production shirts.
Yes.
I want one. I want so much of the clothing in this show. You have no idea. I've talked to you about it off camera, but I want so much of the clothing. I'm speechless still, to be completely frank and honest with you.
Yeah. I think I'm mainly the reason I'm feeling so speechless, which is going to be a shock to you, is not because of Peon. I know, that's a shock. I feel it because of Ruby saying that she wants to be an idol without any lies. And I think that kind of idea for her character, we're finally getting to know who Ruby wants to be other than just the career that she wants to have, but the type of person she wants to be and what she's willing to do to achieve that. We have it very heavy with Aqua. We knew what I did in order to become famous. And now we know what Ruby, the values that Ruby is going to hold close in order to achieve her dream.
In all seriousness, this was a massive episode for that reason alone. Mm-hmm. It completely outlines and defines what her character's intentions are and emotions are and where she's at with herself. And it also, I think, makes her character a lot more vulnerable than it already was, because it might be a little easier to hide behind lies, but when you're laying everything, all of your genuine self on the table, that's what hurts,
Right. She's really making the choice that when she says, "I love you" to her captives, or when she opens her heart to them, it's genuine, and that obviously there's nothing to protect her, emotionally when that's the case. It's not a character. She's going to be presenting herself as Ruby Hoshino, and that is the amount of confidence that she has to have in herself and how much she wants this in order to be willing and have that determination to be I'm putting my real self out there for rejection or for people to belittle me online. It's a contrast to when we first see Ai getting recruited and scouted, and she's there's a lack of kind of love there for herself and her ability to love others. There's this lack of confidence, and so there's this creation of a character that is exactly what she thinks people want. And it's interesting because it seems like Ruby is going to try to be what people want, but authentically, instead of a lie. Because it is what people want to feel like when you say, I love you, it's true, and that you're opening your actual heart and life to them. That is what they want. So she's going to try to actually do that. It's scary territory in terms of like her sanity and her safety.
And potentially her success rate, right? How special do you have to be able to change an entire industry?
Mm-hmm. And compete with all of those people that are creating those characters that are so precisely manipulating the audience so that the audience loves them. If she's not manipulating at all, what is that success going to be? I mean, we even get the talk from Kana in this episode, her internal dialogue of all of the ways that this could literally ruin any career she could possibly have in the future.
And who's going to want to work with somebody who is going against the grain? Like at the moment, you're somebody with no pre-established name or success. If you're Ruby, why can't they just hire somebody else who isn't going to be an issue or isn't going to to be an issue? Is what I mean by that is like, I don't want any lies, right? I refuse to do this TV show or commercial with you because I deem that as a lie.
Yeah.
What, like, you're through a fucked up
It'll limit
lens,
the jobs.
a liability.
It is a liability. Like, you could at least, if you're lying, you could at least reach some amount of success, possibly. If you're beautiful and semi-talented and they put a lot of money towards promoting your group, you could at least get somewhere, even if it's not top of the charts. But she's really, like, creating a gamble here that could not only, like, plummet her future and her career, but it's literally, she's upping the stakes where they're either going to take off and be the top or they are going to plummet.
It's so interesting because, like, I want to take it back to a previous discussion that we had a couple episodes ago when I was trying to bring up the idea if there's any, like, genetical influence on these personalities who have been reincarnated or if it's happenstance, because one way or another, it seems to me that Aqua and Ruby combined equal I, and that Ruby, her passion and I don't want any lies, at the end of the day, what we knew about I is she kind of made like the mind's a powerful thing, and there was a sense of an illusion of lies that she put herself in because she wasn't able to realize that she did love these kids, and there was like a mental wall there.
It was a fear. There was a fear there that she would never be able to feel love, and she was fearful that if she broke down those walls, how much she would hate herself if she realized she didn't love her kids. Her
actions of love towards her kids and even the person who inevitably killed her and keeping that sand, right?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a lie, and that was being genuine. And she managed to get into the industry. The illusion of the lies that she was mentally in definitely got her there. So I'm wondering how hard this is going to be for Ruby. I'm wondering if there's ever going to come a time where Aqua and Ruby are at arms with each other and trying to, like, it would break my heart, like, seeing the inevitable conflict between the two of them in regards to Ruby's life, success, and safety.
Mm-hmm. I think that this would create a lot of fear. If Aqua was privy to Ruby feeling this way or saying this line as we are right now, I think it would really scare him. Aqua's, like, character as we know him. I think he seems to have a good understanding of people around him, so he probably knows this of his sister already, and that is why he was already so fearful of her getting into the idol industry. And in this episode, he even says, like, she's not ready to have a relationship or anything.
Yeah.
And so he has kind of some merit behind his, like, worries and wariness to her having a career in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like, that she doesn't have any walls up. Like, she doesn't have anything to protect herself up.
She is going to inevitably be the image that others are trying to manufacture and put out, right? Like the illusion of, like, the character of, I don't want any lies. She's actually that person, you know? I'm so afraid of
there
her.
Could be jealousy factors from competing idol groups that are that have a person that has going to be a similar trope to Ruby, and there's probably going to be some rivalry of like who's actually authentic and who's lying. Gosh,
you know what her authenticity reminds me of though? The performance that I put on in front of the like cameras where everybody was dejected. It was just another performance, right? Like, who are these people again? And then once the performance started, there was that authenticity, that emotion, that like thing that captivated everybody in the room. Quality. Yeah. And that's what I'm happy to see that Ruby has. I really needed this episode for her.
I mean, it's nice because we have both of these people who on the surface are like, on the surface, if you don't go into it too deep, it's like, oh, they maybe don't have all of the innate talents that I had, or whatever they perceive as whatever I had. And we're getting these two people that are going very different directions in terms of like how to achieve stardom that they think isn't necessarily exactly what their mother did. One is a little more calculated and one is more authentic, heart on your sleeve. They're very different approaches. And there's also that kind of question mark of like, oh, well, what it actually was I doing, and do these kids truly even understand what I actually was doing?
Yeah. I am very, very intrigued to know if they were going to do anything with the revelation of who these kids actually are, because on two different fronts they've advanced that this episode.
It's a good question.
One is the obvious one, that being B. Kimochi. What's the public's reception going to be to that? I could see it being partially negative. I could see the response to it being partially negative, revealing that there's an actual connection to it, and that being Ruby. I would be afraid of what that would bring. And then my other idea in regards to that is that Kana, I felt like, was a half step away from putting it all together.
Same with the director from last episode with Aqua. He said twice how much Aqua reminded him of I.
See, that wasn't enough though. Kana, yes, reminder, but
if
she thought about the set and like I felt like
like when she was a kid, if she thought back to the evidence she had of like them there as children and I was there from the same production.
Yep. I don't know, man. Like I wonder if we're ever gonna get there. What would happen?
As a fan, if you heard that the Strawberry Productions was bringing back with a new idol group named B. Kimochi, would you feel better if it was non-connected at all to the previous group? Or would you be more of a fan and more excited if it was outed that Ruby was I's kid?
I could see it being a negative, like, oh, you're just going to, like, it's kind of disrespectful to reuse a name of a group where the idol was killed.
Yeah.
But with the,
because of the scandal that surrounded it, that's what makes it a little more sensitive to take this name and to use it. And obviously, I don't know if Ruby had talked to anyone else about this previously. I'm sure they would have told her, no, do not do that name. But this is a very sudden decision on camera. Ruby, you can pick what our name is.
They could always play it off like, okay, this is happening, and then it's Strawberry Productions. We're just reviving the group, right? And make it try to just push through it and make it a positive.
It could seem like to other people online, they could be like, oh, this kind of failing production company that doesn't do idols anymore is just trying to relive their old fame and their old success, and it could seem as like kind of gross, like, oh, they failed and they don't even do idols anymore and now they're trying it again, but they have to like ride the tidal wave of the old group's success to try to get popular.
We could be glossing over something though. How much of like a sad reality of the industry would it be if there was no reaction to it? Like, no controversial reaction to it.
Like,
it's
no
just
one really cares.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, another B. Kimochi, sick. And nobody, like, even brings up I. Especially
because if you think about their age, they lived before this time period.
It's a new generation.
Kana knows of I because Kana was a child actor on set with I. But everyone else, all their other peers that they're going to be meeting and what's happening currently in the media, the only people that are going to be like, oh, wow, B. Komochi, that was I, are all older.
And they might, like, mention it, but it could just be, like, another sad example of the industry of, oh, yeah, that happened, but this is the next generation. Like, forget about it, you know?
But another question is using this name... Like, Aqua's the one that's on the kind of path of trying to discover the father.
Mm-hmm.
But is Ruby possibly closer here?
Target on her back.
Or putting a target, but also maybe closer to some event of finding out about the father, that using the name and also resembling probably both the father and I. How much do you want to bet the father would see this, see the name, and see that this kid literally looks like a mix of them and I?
And he knows that he has kids.
And he knows that he has kids. Ruby could be the one that's actually closer to, even if she doesn't realize.
That's a good point.
The father could interact with her without saying who he is.
Yep.
Like, she's almost in a position more likely to come across him than Aqua is.
Are they still in danger?
I mean, that's another good question, is like, obviously I was such a big idol that she had fans willing to kill her. Like, so enamored with her that one of them killed her. So... I mean, anyway, even if there was no connection to I, it's still dangerous,
Yeah.
It seems, to become such a big idol.
Yeah. I'm so happy that we got more content of Ruby this episode. Don't get me wrong, though. I love the content we got of Aqua, too.
Mm-hmm.
The whole dating show scene was great. I loved the reactions from Kana and Ruby to Aqua's persona, I guess, or image that he's putting forward.
Neither of them were a fan of it. They were like, we hate this.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about what Aqua did to Kana in this episode.
Yeah, so...
Because I don't feel great about it. Like, obviously, there is some truth in the fact that he thinks she's cute and he thinks she'd be good at it.
He acknowledged that he wasn't lying. Like,
he acknowledged that he wasn't lying. You're right. He did say that. But still, it doesn't make it feel any less like...
Mixed with the like, I loved the introspection Kana was showing, and I completely understand where you're coming from, because I feel that too. Mm-hmm. It's important to realize where Kana is in her career right now. She isn't, like, people aren't banging on her door after her last appearance in the finale, being like, oh, yeah,
her career is technically already over.
Yeah. Like,
in the eyes of the public.
I completely agree with her sentiment that this could fuck everything up, and I hate the fact that it was Aqua's manipulation that led her to an opportunity that could fuck everything up. But she's her own person. She ended up making this decision at the end of the day, and it's not, like, it's a risk, but it can go places too, you know?
I just still felt so, like, a little bit crummy about it.
I'm with
because obviously Kana, her performance in that last live action that she did, that last episode, even though it was only diehard fans of the series and of her that really stayed to watch that last episode, she still, in her repertoire, has a really great kind of, like, a shot or a scene to show and to possibly get back into acting or being recognized as not just a child actor. It was possible, maybe slowly, that she could have built back her career.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe becoming this idol group will get her in the door to more opportunities that she can then shine again. Hopefully.
She was reading a book on frilled lizards. This is interesting.
That is interesting. But still, like, Aqua... And Aqua's reasoning of, like, how he tried to manipulate her and, like, he knew it would work on her because he's obviously really good at reading people.
Yeah.
And so it just makes you feel like, I think maybe as a viewer and as a person, I get, like, an upset stomach when I see, like, direct manipulation of someone's, like, feelings.
Yeah. I completely understand that. Because then I'm like, okay, Aqua knew what he was doing when he texted her what he texted her. Mm-hmm.
That he didn't even mention that Ruby and I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
He literally just said, like,
he knows what he's doing. He's smart. But I think that he also knows who Kana is and acknowledges that Kana's smart too. Mm-hmm. And I think that there is a bit of respect
there. There's some balance there.
Yeah.
He wanted to manipulate her to join the group. He wanted to make sure she joined the group. But it's not like he doesn't think highly of her. It's not like he doesn't respect her or think that she's talented. There's a balance there in this weird way of like, I need to guarantee for my own selfish reasons that you do this, but I also like think highly of you and like that you'd be joining my sister in this.
In my head, it's a calculated risk that Aqua has thought through to a degree that he thinks if he had to like lean one way or another, he would put the likelihood of success over the likelihood of failure. And that makes me feel more comforted, you know? Did you like his dating sim or his dating life?
I really liked I think that what did we think that they were gonna show? A
bunch of guys and then one girl.
I thought that they were definitely gonna highlight some issues with I think we talked about it after last episode, like next episode maybe they're gonna highlight some of the things that we kind of know about reality TV of possibly being a little bit scripted, and that's like great what we actually got. And I think also something that was hit on is how you always see in like tabloids or online when there's like a new movie coming out or a new show coming out that the main actors always end up dating or getting paparazzi photos out, and sometimes we've learned from the past that some of those relationships were definitely fake and promotional.
Yeah.
And we get that idea in this as well, that there's that possibility that Aqua is going to enter into a promotional kind of relationship.
Yeah. I was really interested in like seeing the dynamics between like how he was acting with the YouTuber and his internal dialogue, and then in like contrast to the other girl that he was talking to. Oh, like, why did you even do this in the first place? Oh, yeah, I don't get many jobs, I'm just doing it. And then how that leaned into the whole, like, she's pretty fucking capable. She's like, camera behind me, don't look into it. I'm gonna, like, work up the little romance here.
Yeah.
She took the director's notes, you know?
Yeah, as a command or advice. Yeah. I like that line. So our streamer on this relationship show.
Yeah.
That's the next person in the idol group, right?
Has to be. I'm with you.
Yep.
I love that Ruby was like, let me pick which girl you're going to date. That's such like sister behavior.
It was so sister behavior.
Yeah.
Because obviously she wants to be able to be best friends with this girl. And she's like, why do you always like pick girls that you know are the type of girls I don't get along with?
Yep. I love it. All right. That's all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time. In all seriousness, in all seriousness, in all seriousness,
in all seriousness,